college is busy, and between all of the different assignments and due dates we have, and the need to study and go to class and work and hang out with friends and family and everything else that's piled onto our plates, there is a lot of opportunity for things to go unnoticed and can result in us missing assignments or just forgetting things altogether. So today we are going to dive into a simple 3-step process that you can use to ensure that you get ahead of the semester and that you never miss an assignment or exam again. So in order to complete this process, we are going to need two key pieces of information. The first thing we're going to need is a copy of all of your course syllabi. And the second thing that we're going to need is a calendar or planner tool of your choice. I highly encourage you to use a digital calendar just because it's something that's going to make our planning process a little smoother. But if you're paper-based, that's okay too. You can still follow along. So now, before we get started, I would like to share that in general, our brains are just not very good at things like remembering due dates and assignments. In fact, they're pretty bad at it. And so our brains are much better suited to things like critical thinking and problem solving. So we want to give space to our brains to do the things that they're actually great at. And that means we need to offload some of these key dates and assignments that are swirling around in our brain into a place that's much more usable for us. And this is where this system comes into place. So now that we have our syllabi and our calendar out, there are a few things we need to transfer over. The first thing we need to transfer over is a copy of our entire class schedule. So our class schedule are any of the date meetings, the times into our calendar so that we know where we're supposed to be when. So let me go ahead and scroll over here and give you an example of what this might look like. So let's say I've got a class happening from 9 until 11 on Mondays. I'm going to drop a block into my calendar and I would label it math. Little pro tip here, I've colored it red because for me, math is just a red kind of subject, maybe because that's the color that was always poured all over my exams. But in general, this is going to help me to start associating this color with this course. And so when I see something red in my calendar or anywhere else in my productivity system, then my brain will instantly know this is a math-focused time. We're going to continue doing this for all of our classes. So let's say I've got an English course that meets at this time on Tuesdays. And now I can start to have a full comprehensive picture of what a week in my life actually looks like. And this is important because it allows your brain to see all of the various things that you have happening across the week in one centralized place. And it's going to make it really clear for you in the future to know when you should be doing things like studying and finding time for homework, or when you should actually be going out and doing fun things because you don't actually have anything school related at that time. So let's head back here to our strategy card. And the second thing we need to transfer in are all of our assignment due dates and our exams as well. Now, the place you're going to find this is usually toward the end of your syllabus, which is all about the course schedule. It might be called like a week-by-week overview or something similar. And basically, this will show you a calendar of all the things that are coming up in class, as well as those due dates that you have. Now, it's important that we transfer these things into our calendar as well, because these are the things that can oftentimes just be forgotten about completely. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to leverage the power of sort of all-day events. If you're using a digital calendar and if you're using a physical planner, go ahead and just mark it in towards the top. And I'm going to encourage you to, at the top, drop in a box that says like, I have a math exam this day, or this math project is due, for example. And we can drop it in at the top. It gives lots of prominence, and we know that this is a big, important thing that's coming up for us to turn in. So we're going to comb through our syllabi and do that process. Here's a little pro tip. I know that combing through all of the different syllabi can get a bit overwhelming as we're going through all of these course schedules. And so if you experiment with uploading your syllabi into an AI software of your choice, like ChatGPT or Gemini, you can ask it to do things like, can you give me a list of all of the dates that something is due in all of my courses and intersperse these things together. And I've been really impressed by the results, and it can save you a lot of time like combing through those course schedules. So go ahead and give that a try. Now, the third and final thing that we're going to transfer into our calendar to sort of create this base student calendar 101 for ourselves is our reading schedule. So a reading schedule is usually also mixed into that course overview, into that course schedule. Now, Do we actually need to do the readings? Yes. And if you haven't checked out our micro lecture on previewing and priming your brain for class, I'm going to strongly encourage you to do that. But we're going to handle the reading schedule just a little bit differently because I promise it truly is. It's so important for your success as a student. And so instead of putting it into the top all day bar, I'm going to encourage you to actually find just 15-minute blocks of time that you can get readings done before lecture according to the schedule. So if I comb through the course schedule and then I see, oh, I've got to read chapter 1 before my math class, I'm going to just find a 15-minute block of time and I'm going to write read chapter 1. And that's going to be in red because it's for that class. And then if I've got something that I need to do another reading before the next day, let's say I can find a 15-minute block here in my schedule, and I'm going to go ahead and preview the text for that upcoming lecture. And this is really going to set me up to understand lecture a little bit better, but also it prepares me just in case there happens to be a pop quiz in class. So as usual, I'd like to leave you here with sort of a takeaway. What is your challenge? My challenge for you is to go ahead and have what I like to call a little syllabus planning party. So that means go ahead and go grab a drink for yourself, go ahead and put on some music, maybe invite a friend or two, and know that you're going to take an hour or even a couple of hours to go through this entire process. But I promise it's going to result in you having a way less stressful and much more organized semester.